It changed the neural pathways so dramatically that I snapped out of that depression.
Hey there. Welcome to Top of Mind. Real talk for today's woman. With Anna and Karen.
And we're back. And today, what I wanted to talk about is one of the things we'd already discussed earlier in the month. But I think I talked about the fact that, I suffer from depression. They call it persistent depression now, which is basically something you've had since you're a kid, teenage, whatever, years and years, kind of there. It's and so I've tried lots of things, but the big thing that usually gets me is seasonal affective disorder. I've suffered that from way back when. I remember, the what do you call those? The sun lamps, like they were to today's standard, like pricing, they were like $800. And I remember buying those and I had no money, and it's like trying to help me. And I hated September because I'd start to feel it going in that. I'd call it the black abyss, and I hated that. So anyway, what I want to say is that I have found something. I want people to know this is not a medical thing. This is just a layman who's trying something I am not paid for. They did not give me. It's nothing coming from this. I don't have affiliate links. Okay. I just found something that has worked for me. And I wanted to share it with others. And it's called the NeuroVizor. NeuroVizor. And all it is a bunch of flashing lights. But it's not the flashing lights that's important. Let me put it on. Okay, so what this does is if you take a look, it'll flash lights in different patterns right here. And we'll talk about the third eye in a minute. But anyway, it's connected to a program in your phone, and I wear sound blocking things. And I have to say that within 2 days, my depression went from what I would call about a 2 to about a 7.
You mean like improvement?
Improvement, yeah.
Okay.
So I was at a 2. I was on my ass. It was at that point that I don't care anymore. I don't even care about going into work. I don't care about anything. I just want to sit on my ass and ignore the world. Okay. So to me that's low. I hate it when I get to that point because I've given up. So I tried this. Now what it does do is I don't know if anybody's heard of microdosing, and because I'm an alcoholic drug addict, I don't do that stuff. But apparently for drug resistant, like prescription resistant depression, they use microdosing to help people get beyond depression. And this creates it in your brain, the neural pathways. It restructures your neural pathways and changes things around in your brain, just as the microdosing would do for depression without you getting high.
Now, when she's talking about microdosing, typically it's mushrooms. It's typically like a adaptogen kind of psychedelic drug. So that's just to clarify.
They also use what's the other ketamine to do it. Ketamine's the actual one that they're doing it up here in Canada. It's just become recognized as being allowable, and I think down in the States have been doing it for a bit for the drug resistant type of stuff. And so I just want to say that like if you are suffering from depression, this is a costly device. But there are some spas in that are actually have it, as that's how I found out about it, that actually have it in their sound rooms now. You know how a lot of spas are doing the meditation thing. They're offering it for people to try and check out. It might be something, I mean, it only took, like, I noticed within a day, and I thought, placebo effect. It's like, but within 2 days, like I don't care at this point. I didn't get high. I didn't feel anything like that, but it changed the neural pathways so dramatically that I snapped out of that depression, and I actually feel like I have spring.
Wow.
It's kind of weird because the snow was coming, it was dark and everything. And I was like, which I usually get in spring.
Now, let me ask you, are your eyes opened or closed?
Oh, they're closed. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. And that's the other thing. If you've ever had epilepsy or you have sensitivity to strobing lights, of course you can't do it. And
that would be me.
Yeah, and there is a small issue with some people that may not know have they had that, and then it triggers a seizure. So there's, you gotta look at all the cautions and all that type of stuff. But, I just wanted to bring it up that it's something that helped me, that you can, if you look it up, NeuroVizor, and NeuroVisr. If you look it up, you may find a spa near you that, I'm just trying to turn it off, that maybe you will offer it as a benefit, and you can try it out and see if it's helpful for you if you suffer from depression. And I'm going back to a note, like we talked about in one of the other ones. I said, like, my energy and my state of mind can be different.
And I said, wow, tell me more about that, because that would be that is an anomaly. Tell me.
Yeah, so for me, my energy for the most part is pretty consistent. It's my state of mind and what I'm willing to do with that energy. So, for example, I know that there are some people that when they're depressed, they'll lie in their bed, they sleep. That's all they do is sleep, 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 sleep. I'm not like that. I don't get that way. I get that I don't cares. I don't care type of idea. And I won't sleep. I'll instead watch TV. I binge watch crap. I remember Scandal, I think, was the series, and there was like 12 episodes per season, and it was like 6 or 7 seasons. I took a whole week off work. I didn't care. I just couldn't get beyond my bed, and I sat there in my bed watching this. That was the last that was the worst for me. I barely ate. Sue kind of fed me every now and then. So that way my energy doesn't necessarily go down. It doesn't go up, but it has this persistent level.
Interesting. Because I have to tell you, I feel like we all radiate an energy, whether or not we know it. We have that aura.
Yes.
So I find I'm trying to figure out how, like, given a depressed state, the aura could be positive, or the energy could be positive. You know what I'm saying? Maybe maybe you're saying one thing and I'm saying another. But I just feel like we all, and I believe that, like, your energy arrives in a room before you do.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. But then again, how many people are persistent depression, or I call it functioning depression, right? It's that you work beside at work, you go in or something like that. They're
But
just
I
low.
feel it. I feel it. I
Maybe.
feel their energy. And it's not a positive energy.
Yeah, we're not supposed to have silences. I'm thinking,
No, because
contemplating.
it's
Yeah.
good though, because see, this is just her and I working through something.
Yeah.
Because I'm struggling, and please note, so there's no
No.
exact science to this. This is Karen and I kind of hashing it
Yes.
out.
No
So
science.
when you say about, like, your mind, like, I see a complete disconnect, because again, like, I can feel people's energy, like whether they're confident, or they lack self-confidence, or they're down, or they're depressed, or they're grieving. I'm an empath, so I feel that. But I do believe, even if I didn't feel that, like, we transmute it.
Mm-hmm.
Not transmute. We
Transfer.
transfer. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. No, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. You've got me a bit perplexed. I'm thinking about that.
It's okay.
Yeah,
You
I
can
think
think about it.
I fake it till I make it. You see that whole idea of faking it.
That's, yeah, the AA thing, fake it till you make it. But
Yeah.
that's just kind of, again, that's why I said the last episode, this is a rabbit hole, a very deep rabbit hole, because
Yeah.
yeah. Now I will tell you, like, going back to your seasonal um, um
Affect.
disorder.
Yeah.
I actually read an interesting statistic over the weekend, that they basically, when we talked about our environment and how it influences us. Here's a prime example. Like, as it relates to this disorder, if it's somebody like North, say New Hampshire, or say Canada, let's just, and I'll make up a statistic because I don't know, they have a 29% chance of suffering from SAD, where someone, and that someone moves, or they live in Florida, it's less than 1%. And that's just a direct impact of their environment. And it's really reflective of the sun.
Yeah. The lack
Because,
of.
yes, the lack of sun. And, like I told you, like I couldn't wear that NeuroVizor because I get ocular migraines.
Right.
So any kind of strobing or flashing light will set off an ocular migraine um, for me. But shoot, I just lost my train of thought as it relates to the seasonal but the thinking behind the SAD is that it, like, and I talk a lot about circadian rhythm and our internal clocks, is that lack of sunlight throws off our internal clocks,
Yeah.
sets off that, that chemical imbalance, if you will, of, that.
Well, an interesting thing, it has lots of patterns. It's all about meditation and things like that. But it kind of beeps right here. And if you talk about the um, third eye, behind the third eye is the pineal gland. And I found out something that was fascinating. It secretes DMT. That's one of the hormones.
Mm-hmm.
This hormone only gets secreted when you're born and when you die.
Interesting.
And what they were talking about is that when that comes out, you talk about people who see the light and this, and it's much, although babies can't talk, but somewhere in there they believe it's the same experience of people envisioning and things like that. They say it's the hormonal response. It's not really God speaking to you or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
but they also say that that third eye that's there, the pineal gland, has ocular, has optical sensors, much like our eyes, just a lot less.
Hmm. Interesting.
So it's like, I found it fascinating that they're pulsating here,
Mm-hmm.
impacting the pineal gland possibly, that secretes a lot of other hormones, and I forget what they are in that, but I'm still trying to find out that research, but there's some connection between them, and they do talk about that. I meant to do that before I came on here today. Anyway,
No worries. Now, how long have you been using that? Tell us. And how did you
three
find
weeks,
it? How long?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. And how did
Yes.
you discover it?
I discovered it through one of those not massage places, spa places that they were offering it there. I was thinking of doing it, trying it, never made it, fell on my ass. And I had been using the PMF. I think I talked about it before, around my head, and I was finding it worked a little bit. But when I ended up on my butt, just not caring anymore and giving up, it was like, okay, enough. There's got to be something that's a much more long-term solution. I'm fed up of this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I thought, okay, I read up about it, looked at it, thought there's not enough. There's very little scientific, of course, but I'm into trying gizmos and
No,
things
I'm with
like
you.
that, and just thought, you know what? And finally, I feel like something has completely changed, you know? So, yeah, it's one of those, I think we're going to see more and more and hear more about it, the more things that are being developed for our mind to expand it. This also has one of the reasons I also bought it with Sue, who has the cognitive difficulties due to a stroke. It
Uh-huh.
also helps with that type of stuff because, again, it's wiring the neural transmitters differently. It's doing it by audio sounds, like it does this. It's psychedelic, in your ears as well as visually. But there's lots of them out there that they're starting to do where it changes your neural pathways, and you can retrain yourself and help yourself cognitively and not stop dementia, but help with dementia and things like that. I'm trying to think of what some of the other names are. Neural Sky, that's Elon Musk. He's come up with one, and there's the PMF, and there's Muse. Like, all of these are all starting to look at the vibration and frequency, the different things that we're zapping at our brain in order to change those neural pathways.
Interesting. And when you were talking about frequencies, it reminds me, I think it was Edgar Cayce said that, we'll find that the future of healing lies in sound.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
He was the guy that used to fly around out of his body, right?
Yes, he was the
Yes.
one that he was like a medical intuit.
Yeah.
And he was kind of beyond his years, but he actually said that um, that healing, the future of healing is through sound. So,
Right.
I do believe like we'll see more and more of this. Um, 100%. And you definitely have to keep us posted on your you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
progress. I would I would try it myself, but I can't because of the ocular
Okay.
migraine thing, because
No,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Um,
And so like people, you can go to the website, check it out. And if there's stuff that you have tried, again, please tell us that you've tried and is successful. It's like I always am looking for stuff to help myself to, continue to be better, that type of stuff, and to not suffer as much. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, I'm willing to try things. Throw them down in the comments below, please. So, and today I hope that I offered a little bit of hope for anybody that may be still suffering out there, because that's what this is all about, is sharing our information and knowledge with each other.
and I
So,
think you brought up an interesting, without saying it, that we all have to be our own personal advocate as it relates to our healthcare, as it relates to our mental health,
yeah,
um, pretty much anything in our life. So, as you and I have kind of done all the self-help and we do different things, I think it's important that there's things out there for us to try, but we have to advocate for ourselves and we have to be willing. So kudos to you.
thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing.
Okay.
And keep us posted.
Okay, and thanks for joining us today. I am Karen Vale, Confidence and Mindset Coach, and I am here with.
Anna Jennings, your midlife mentor. A
Thank,
midlife mentor.
thanks for joining us.
See you.